I hope you like that funky music, everybody, because I certainly do. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 1987 Supermod. I'm your host, Brad Drake, and this is Championship Wrestling from Florida. So here we are, back on the main screen, and we got a lot of work to do here, everybody. A ton of work to do to Championship Wrestling to try to get this thing vital again. So, off screen, just a heads up for you, I have reached out to a bunch of enhancement talents. Okay? Enhancement talents are key to 1980s wrestling. This is before the days of episodic television. You were showing wrestlers getting beat, which were the enhancement talents, by your big name wrestlers to make them look great so that a fan would buy a ticket to watch them in their local town. That was the whole point of television. It was not episodic television. It was to sell you on making wrestlers look unbeatable and make you want to buy a ticket to see when they faced another wrestler. So, as far as we're not going to get into any gameplay today, everybody. I'm going to show you how I put together my saves and what goes into it before that gameplay. It is a ton of work. So the spreadsheet for Championship Wrestling from Florida, I have gone ahead and plugged in all the wrestlers in the game into the spreadsheet so I know what I'm dealing with. As you can see here, we have a very big disproportionate amount of wrestlers between baby faces and heels. There's not a whole lot we can do about that, and frankly, I don't want to, because what's going to happen here most likely is in the next couple days in the game, the Crockett is going to go and buy up a bunch of wrestlers and send them to us. It tends to be what they do in all of these saves. So it's most likely what's going to take place in this save. However, with our roster, there is something I'm going to do here. I can't stand Adrian Street. All right, I'm sorry. I never liked the guy. Nothing against him. I know he was a good wrestler. He was a good trainer. I just couldn't stand him. So the first thing I always do is I fire Adrian Street. So some of you may not like that, but that's just the way it is. Okay. So we've reached out to a lot of enhancement talent to bring them in, and we are going to do our best to bring them in. So while we're here, let's take a look at our tag teams. And you can see that there's, again, a disproportion here in tag teams with heels and faces. Here's the other problem we're going to run into is we have to find out right now. We are scheduled to record on Wednesdays. We need to see what our parent company is doing. I can't remember which day they're recording on, because we don't want to record on the same day they are, because chances are good they're going to gobble up a lot of our wrestlers that we want to use. It happens in every save. If you've ever played as a child company, this is what happens. So you have to be careful of it. Okay, so Jim Crockett Promotions, and let's do the view their profile. And let's take a look at their events and TV. Okay, so they are filming Worldwide Wrestling on Tuesdays. They're filming Pro on Tuesdays. And World Championship Wrestling is held on Saturdays. So we should be okay. What we're not going to be able to avoid is Jim Crockett Promotions' touring schedule. They're going to gobble people up, and there's not going to be a whole lot we can do about it. We have a lot of wrestlers on permanent loan from them, and this is just the way it goes. So now that we have that settled, let's try to bring in another babyface tag team here. Jody Hamilton became a big-time face in Florida with the Assassins. He's signed with a million other promotions here, but if we could get him in 1 or 2 days a week, I'd be happy. So we just want a handshake deal, and we're going to... Whoa, they blocked me. All right, well, let's try to offer him for 9 months here. We'll see what happens. All right, he's happy. Okay, now, Jody Hamilton had a couple different partners in the Assassins. And in case you want to see how successful the Assassins were, here you go. All right, I'm just going to scroll down here. Now, this is the latest version of version 8. Obviously, you're going to be watching this in a couple weeks when version 8 is already out. But as of right now, this is the latest version of version 8. Look at the titles that he has held. Okay? This is what you would call a tag team specialist. So Tom Renesto, who was the original Assassin number 2, has retired. All right, now another wrestler that Jody Hamilton tagged with that became sometimes known as Assassin number 2, other times known as Assassin number 3, is Randy Colley, who was Moondog's Spot, but he's tied up in New York right now. So another guy that he tagged with was called Roger Smith, and Roger Smith also had his own incarnation in Memphis with Randy Colley as the Assassins. So we're going to try to bring in Roger Smith here to tag with Jody Hamilton as the Assassins. We're going to try to sign him, give him a matching deal, 9 months. And again, they don't want us to give 10%, over 10%. All right, so we got to improve the offer made to him because he wants that merchandise money. So we'll give him $200 a show, and there it is. All right, so we're going to attempt to bring them as the Assassins and see if that helps us out. Okay, the other thing we got to deal with right off the bat is our product. I prefer Classic Balanced in this game. Okay, so we're going to make that happen here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, obviously, this is not the real product that they used, but it's what I'm going to use. It's what I've grown used to. It's what I like to use. So there's Classic Balance, okay? Because we use enhancement talents, we do not enforce heel and face, okay? And we may have some women's wrestling. Florida had some women's wrestling at one point, but for right now, we're going to leave it as none, okay? So that is saved. That is through the editor. We had to do this, okay? Now here's our other big one here. Our schedule. We are not going to survive running this schedule. This is too much with too big of venues for championship wrestling from Florida. Okay? Way too many shows, and it's just way too big of buildings. We're not going to fill out these buildings. We're not going to sell out these buildings. Okay, so let me show you something. This is a little trip behind the curtain. I went through and found the cities that Championship Wrestling ran in. Okay, they ran St. Petersburg, they ran Clearwater, they ran Newport Richey, they ran Tampa, Florida, they ran Crystal River, Florida, they ran Orlando, Daytona, Jacksonville, Sunrise, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Homestead. There's probably a few others in there. Okay, I went a step further, and I looked up high schools and smaller venues in these areas, and I put them into the game. So we have the ability to run these venues. Now, these are the existing venues that Championship Wrestling from Florida was already running. Okay, the other important thing here is I wrote down the big shows. Now, you're probably asking, why did I do this? Why did I write down the big shows? Here's why. We just cleared every show. Okay? So we will take this slowly, but the Eddie Graham Memorial Show was planned for the first week of May. We're not going to be ready for the Eddie Graham Memorial Show the first week of May. Here's the other problem. We try to run that show on a Saturday, we're not going to be able to get our top guys from Crockett. So here's what we do. We're going to run a 2.5-hour show. It's going to be annual. We're going to run it on Thursday of week 4 of May. I've learned a lesson here. You want to run cheap ticket pricing for big shows. It'll help you sell out larger venues. And of course, we're going to run this in the Southwest. And actually, I think we have a venue listed already. We do. The Miami Beach Convention Center. Which doesn't make any sense. You figure we have it in the Eddie Graham complex, sport complex. We'll try it. Maybe there's a reason. Not Southwest, Southeast. There it is, the Eddie Graham Sports Complex, okay? So that is booked. Our big major show is booked. All right? Here's the other thing we're going to do here. We are going to run live events, but we're not going to go crazy. We can't, or else we'll fail. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter because everything is on Crockett's dollar. But it does matter because of the fact of us trying to get talent. So if we go crazy and we run these big, it's just not realistic. You're not going to run a 5,000 seat arena if you can't put 500 people into the arena. I know promotions did that and it was always stupid and bad for business, and then those promotions went out of business. So Championship Wrestling from Florida is in dire straits here at this point. They are on life support and being kept alive by Jim Crockett Promotions. Well, we're going to try to make ourselves valuable so Jim Crockett Promotions keeps us and doesn't sell us in December like they did in the real world. So that's what we're attempting to do here. We're attempting to revive Championship Wrestling from Florida and bring things back to life. So we are going to run television every other Wednesday. Okay, so that would mean this Wednesday we're going to do television, and then we won't do television again for 2 weeks. So this week, we are going to run a live show on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. And of course, we're going to run it in the Southeast. And I'm going to tell you exactly where we're going to run it. We are going to run it in the Northeast High School gym in St. Petersburg. There we go. Next, we're going to run on Thursday. We are not going to run over the weekend. I'm not going to compete to try to get talent. I'm going to have a better chance of getting better talent on non-television days for Crockett. So, go ahead and look at this. We're going to run Thursday. So we're going to run St. Petersburg, right? Well, next, I want to run Clearwater. So we're going to run Countryside High School in Clearwater, Florida. We're running high school gyms, everybody. It's come down to this. But we can sell out high school gyms. We can make money in high school gyms. As a matter of fact, we're going to set our ticket prices for cheap. We want to draw as many people as possible. Let's go back to Tour 1. And let's make sure that our ticket pricing is cheap. And it is. Okay, that puts us in a good spot here on a path for success, in my opinion. We have huge named wrestlers down here working for us from Crockett. And in case you didn't notice, we have Lex Luger, we have Dusty Rhodes, we have Jimmy Valiant. If we use these people right, they are going to help us in a very big way. But we have to use them right, and we have to be smart with how we use them. Okay, here's another thing. I like light heavyweight and junior heavyweight titles. Right now, in Championship Wrestling from Florida, they just have the heavyweight and the tag team. Remember, they're on life support, okay? But Florida had a Florida junior heavyweight champion. We're going to bring that title back. All right, take a look at all these titles that Florida had. Folks, I kid you not, you look at that list right there, that was 100 hours of research and work to put all those titles in there. Easily. I've put thousands and thousands of hours into this save. I kid you not. So there's the Florida junior heavyweight title. It was around, sporadically here. They brought it back in 81, then got rid of it in 84. We're unretiring it. We're bringing it back. Okay, the Bahamas title, all the rest of that stuff can stay retired. Okay. So there we go. All right, so now you can see what we're doing. Here's the other different thing with this save that makes it more different than other saves that I have done. And that is, we don't know who we're going to have every show. Okay? We are not completely independent here. We are reliant on Crockett for talent. So with that said, I can't really make out a tour until I know who we're going to have that night. So we take it day to day. Okay? It's the same thing with television. All right? This was from an earlier test run Championship Wrestling save I did. It's the same way. We're not going to be able to figure this out until the day of, when we realize who we have. Now, in the real world, promotions would know who they were going to have because they know who's booked elsewhere a few days in advance. You can kind of do that in this game, but it would take you like 3 hours to figure it out. So you might as well just wait till TV day to do it. Okay? So let's give this a shot, and let's go ahead and move along to Tuesday, and let's see what happens. When we get to Tuesday here, I want to show you all the new promotions here in version 8, if there's some of you that aren't playing it yet. And yes, it does make the game take longer to load, but it's definitely in there. So in case you missed it here, well, let's get this updated here. We're running Clearwater next, so we'll make sure that that's in the tour date. We're going to run Clearwater on Thursday. So we're running 3 days a week. That's the way we're going to do Championship Wrestling from Florida. We are on life support, and we're trying to do everything we can to keep Crockett from closing us down. So we're trying to make this promotion viable again, and we're trying to just keep things as realistic as possible, but also keep us in existence. It's taking a very long time to load. So that's what we're looking at with our events. We are finally loaded in here. Michael Hayes title win. He won the UWF heavyweight title. Good for him. New champion at AWA. Good. Chavo won the world light heavyweight title. Cool. Willie B. Hart and Larry Hamilton. Of course, that's Pez Watley. Cool. Good for them. See, here you go. This is what I was telling you about. Crockett goes after all these people. Okay? And then if they get them, they will send them to us. And then we're going to have to figure out what to do with them. Okay? Hamilton didn't like that 9-month deal. So let's offer him 6 months. The cool thing is you don't have to worry about salary too much because it's on Crockett. They're paying for it. So 6 months, let's make that offer. Let's see if he goes for it. Okay. All right. Like I said, we're not going to do any booking today. We're not going to do any shows. But let's take a look at the other promotions in the game. There's been a lot more added since a couple days ago when you saw the last one. The independent promotion, California Championship Wrestling, has been added along with their television show. All of the added wrestlers have been added. Again, you're talking a couple dozen hours again for all this, but they're all in the game, so you have plenty more wrestlers. Their titles are also in the game. We also added, where is it? Pro Wrestling International. There we go. They're added in. Their titles are added in. Their title histories are added in. West 4 Wrestling Alliance has been added. That was not in before. Their titles, their title histories, their wrestlers have been added. So the way I do this is I actually watch their old shows and then actually do screenshots and create the wrestlers based off of it. It's a very tedious process. It takes a long time. So just right here from the original 2016 mod that I edited this from, here are the promotions that have been added. Okay? California Championship Wrestling has been added. Championship Wrestling from Florida has been added. It was closed down in the original. Deep South Wrestling has been added. International Championship Wrestling has been added. And when I say these promotions have been added, so have most of their rosters. International Wrestling Federation has been added. Joe Pedicino's Superstars of Wrestling, very recently added. The National Wrestling Federation has been added. Polynesian Pacific Wrestling has been added, along with a lot of wrestlers. Pro Wrestling America has been added. Pro Wrestling International has been added. West 4 Wrestling Alliance has been added. Wild West Wrestling has been added. Windy City Wrestling has been added. So all these promotions were added to the game that were not in the game. Okay, let's bump up one more day here to get to our, no, tonight is our show. Yeah, live event tour number 1 is here. And let's take a look. It's going to take a long time. We'll see who's available. Go from there. That didn't take too long. So there it is. Northeast High School in Florida was added. We're expecting 3,300 fans tonight. That's the advantage of using cheap ticket prices. So we're running Northeast High School, which is 1,800. So we're going to sell out this gym. It's only going to cost us $1,000. So we should make money. Okay. I want to go back to the main screen there. It looked like we had some things to look at. We did. Production change. So there we go, folks. That's all we're going to go over for today. We'll get into booking this show, the next Florida episode. But I just wanted to go through everything and let you see what was going on. You have to be smart. I mean, you can go nuts and just play this game and have fun if you want. But I try to play it realistically, and I'm trying to save Championship Wrestling from Florida here. So I'm playing it differently than most people would. I'm trying to keep this realistic and accurate. And you know what? While we're here, bam! This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You see this? This is almost our entire roster is working for somebody else tonight. I forgot that Tuesday night was CWA's Championship, Continental Wrestling Association, Championship Wrestling Association. That's their big night. It's Tuesday night. So you can see everybody else is working either for CWA or for Continental. Okay, so we can't run Tuesday nights anymore. So we're going to make a note of that in the game here so we know. We're most likely going to stick with Thursday and Friday nights now. Okay, because you take a look at this. Here's our roster, everybody. We got to get 2 hours of matches out of that. So this is what it is. This is a struggle. This is not nearly as easy or as fluid as the AWA was. Okay, we're beholden to somebody else. So, and then of course we got problems too. They fight all the time. All right, St. John is getting a stern warning. Bad news, and Fernandez got into it. We're going to warn bad news. And then Basher got himself in some trouble with Hiro Matsuda. So that's going to be it for today, folks. This was the next episode of Florida. The next one, we're going to actually run this show. I just wanted to show you so you could see what was involved in these in the save like this. This is a lot more complicated of a save than it was with the AWA, or it is with the AWA since that series is still running. And we'll continue to run. It's a lot of fun. But as you also see, version 8 is loaded. There are a lot of wrestlers, a lot of companies, a lot of variety. And the best part is it's all historically accurate. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in for this episode of Championship Wrestling from Florida. We'll be back tomorrow, back with the AWA. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe, give us a like, and share this with your friends. Also, join us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/1987supermod. And last but not least, if you would like version 8, go to braddrake.net, drop me a line, and I'll send you over a link where you can download the database and the picture pack. Thank you, everybody. Take care.